Geometry. Still just exercising our 9 theorems, but that's not all you have. You still have some of the angles of a triangle in parallel lines, alternate angle, co-interior angles, supplementary angles, and corresponding angles. For instance, isosceles triangles, that the angles opposite equal sides, all the other stuff that you have been taught from grade 8 up to now, still LB. But the 9 theorems we're looking for in grade 11 and 12, the 9 theorems are, starting with number 1. Line from the center of the circle. There is no center of the circle. There is a little dot there on your page, I think to indicate to you that there is no center. So you don't have the opportunity to work with theorem 1, line from the center, perpendicular to a chord. Also, angles at the center twice the angle at the circumference can't be there. Number 3, the angle in a semicircle. Now, where do I just know this from? If you don't know, you haven't learned it. Semicircle, so you still need a diameter. Number 4. Is the bow tie. If you don't know it, you can't do geometry. Is there a bow tie here? No. Right, then number 5 and 6 are what? Cyclic quad. Cyclic quad? Yes, there is a cyclic quad. D, E, F, G is a cyclic quad. You don't make up your own stuff. Remember, constructions only. When I tell you draw a line, then you do it because I tell you to. But most of the time, it's just proving a theorem. Right, so I've got a cyclic quad. How does that help me? Can that help me in this question? That I've got a cyclic quad? How? Then what? Because the only thing you have is x. So it's going to be all in terms of x's. So which one? Angle F will be what? Just not x, right? Because opposite angles of a cyclic quad are supplementary. That's why it's 180 minus x. I'm trying to prove that D1 and D2 are equal. That's the question. How will I know that it's equal? So I've got to prove on some mathematical way that it is equal to x, obviously. But why would it be equal to x? Now I've got 180 minus x. How does that help me? What do I have to use in this sketch that's given there that you can't miss? The parallel lines. Which parallel lines? There's parallel lines there as well as there. How am I going to get there?
G is equal to D2.
Give me an angle.
Angle G is equal to x.
Those are going to have a connection. Why? What are they? They are co-interior angles. And what do co-interior angles do? They add up to 180. So if this one's 180 minus x, that one will be x because of co-interior angles being supplementary. And then the other pair of parallel lines help you for the last step because they are alternate angles, x and x. This is not equal to that because they are equal. It's equal because of other reasons. So the part that we just walked with, you're going to do now in the writing. Because how many marks do I have? Nothing. Nothing. You've got to write all of that down. Step by step, as we thought it out, we're going to write it down now. So where do I start? Angle F minus x, and my reason is opposite angles of a cyclic quad. Most of the time, for such a statement and a reason, you get 1 mark. So if you don't have the reason, you don't even have 1 mark. Statement and reason together, both right, 1 mark. What did we get from there?
G.
Angle G was equal to x. Why? Co-interior angles. Yes, thank you. DG parallel to E, F. If those parallel lines are not there, no marks. And again, for the statement and the reason, completely reason, 1 mark. Complete reason. So everything's there, you forgot the parallel lines, you don't have the mark. Next step, D2 was equal to x, and I'm just saying it's equal to g, it's fine. And the reason for that is it the same parallel lines? No, so I have to name it DH, parallel to F, G, and again, everything or nothing. Then lastly, I can answer the equation. Therefore, D1 is equal to D2 because they are both equal to X for a reason. Most probably there wouldn't be a mark there because that was what I was after, that they would have to be equal to each other. So maybe in this case, because this was grade 11 work, they might have given you 1 mark for the statement, 1 for the reason, 1, so that you got a total of 4, like it's stated there on that question paper. Right, then we're working out of exam aids and stuff now. So question number 1 says here to find O1, mu sum. Now read the question. The question says that O is the center of the circle, so immediately I've got more stuff to work with. Also, like in the previous one, in this one, I do not have tangents. So immediately my theorem 7, 8, and 9 are out the window. Can't use them if there are no tangents. But you go through all of them again. Now that I know that it is the angle at the center, or that it is a center, I can use more of the theorems. Also, what they did tell me there was interesting, that HEATR, circle HEATR, what are they talking about? Do you see it? They're just saying that all of those sit on the edge of the circle. It's a way of writing. You've got to read the stuff so that it doesn't seem like foreign language to you. Okay? And also, that was not on the sketch, but in the wording, was that F2 was 78 and that R1 was 22. You have to read everything sometimes, like in this one. The stuff is on the reading part, but not on the sketch, and you missed it because you didn't read. Okay. Also, there are parallel lines. Do you think they give you parallel lines for nothing? No. So those parallel lines, make sure that you see them, you note them. I'm going to be using something about parallel lines. Alternate angles, something, something, something. Are you with me? I'm prepared for what's coming. So I start off with, first question that says O1. What is this? Angle at the center of the circle, do you agree? Yes. Oh, but isn't then that theorem 2? Okay, but if it is theorem 2, and on how many ways do I see theorem 2? It can either be angle at the center twice the angle at the circumference like that. Do you see it? Yes. Yeah. So O1 is going to be twice H1, but I don't have it. But if I can get it, then I'll have H1. Are you with me here? Yes. Just don't forget the others as well. If it's right on top of each other like that, it's still double the other one. Or if it's squished right into the corner, reminding us kind of like the bow tie, but it's not, because all 4 points are not. Cyclic. This will still be 2 times and 1 time. And the other way of writing it, so there's 4 ways, is if there's like a squished in one, then that will be 2 times whatever that is. You've got to be prepared for it. When you're going through all of them, you've got to know how can they appear. So let's start at the start. Line from the center perpendicular to a chord. Do you think it's there? No. The only one that could have been is this one, right? But it's not 90, so it's out. Are you with me? Line from the center perpendicular to a chord, or halving it or perpendicular. Okay, but that's not there. But then, theorem number 2 can be there, but I'm not quite sure how yet. If I can find H1, right? Then, diameter, well, there is a line through the center, but it's not finishing, so it's out. Number 4, what's number 4? Bow tie, is it there? There? And don't forget, it's not here, but the bow tie isn't just that one. It's also the one that's like kind of squished separately. But if I've got it there, same distance, and here, same distance, then even if they cross each other, those 2 pieces will be equal. It's still bow tie. But it's not on the same chord, it's on equal chords. If you don't know what you're looking for, you won't see it. Is there something like that happening here where maybe there's two pieces equal to each other, so we're looking? So then the cyclic quads. Are there cyclic quads here?
Yes.
Where?
E.
G? Yeah, there is one.
Yeah, H-A-T-I.
A-T-R, do you agree?
Yes.
Has to go from side to side to side, well, circumference, right? Do you see it?
Yes.
So then there could even be something happening here because of the cyclic quad. Those angles have a relationship. But I won't see it if I'm not looking for it. Cyclic quads. Exterior angle of a cyclic quad. Well, I'm not seeing any one of those sides being extended, so that can't happen. Isn't there another one? Isn't H-E-A-T a cyclic quad? Why not?
Because
Because it doesn't touch the circle, it's not gone cyclic. Are you hearing what I'm saying?
Yes.
You have to go and look for the stuff. Okay, but then, go back to the basics. What's been given to you is not given to you for no reason.
Choose angles of the triangle.
Those are two angles of this triangle, grade 9, 8. So that means that O, yes, let's make it O2 because they didn't number it. O2 would be there, 100.
H.
Yeah. Those two together add up to 100, so this would be 80. But you could have immediately gone and said O1 is 100. Because exterior angle is equal to the sum of the opposite. You see that one? But O1 is the exterior angle because that side has been extended, equal to the sum of the opposite interiors. I'm going to write that one because it's one less thing to write. So I'm looking for O1, and I'm going to say it's 100 because of exterior angle of triangle. Are you getting a mark for OFR? No. But you're helping the marker seeing your weird things that you're doing, something strange, you did something completely different, you explain yourself well so they can see what you've done. Okay, so O1 is done. 2 marks, most probably. Otherwise, just 1. The B part, to find H then. Why is it 50? Oh, because it's that angle at the center twice the angle at the circumference. Okay, and don't use your own abbreviations. You can write a little bit more, but you can't just say angle at the center of a circle. And nobody knows what's going on there. Okay. There are allowed and not allowed abbreviations. Number C was find T. Now going through it just now before we started here, we said all this stuff. So how would I find T?
Because it angles of the cyclic quad.
So T would be 130 because of opposite angles of a cyclic quad that are supplementary to each other. Can I still in a question paper, in a matric final exam paper say, complete the following sentence. The opposite angles in a cyclic quad? The opposite angles in a cyclic quad are supplementary. Are you with me? You can still ask that for 1 more. Number D, find H2. What haven't we used yet? Parallel lines. So I don't think it's there for nothing. Because I'm not seeing anything else happening that we already spoke about. You with me? So H2 would then, if the parallel lines are there, would be equal to what? A2. Can I find A2?
Yes.
How?
Get F1 first.
F1 how?
Straight line.
Straight line will give me this is 102. Then this one would be
38.
28, I think. Just use your calculators. 28, and then I'm finished. Okay, but it wasn't one step. To get to H2, I've got to do a few things, namely, F1 was 102 because of a straight. Definitely only 1 mark for the statement and the reason. A2 then would be 28 because of interior angles or sum of the angles of a triangle. Which triangle? H-A-F. So the marker knows where I am when I tell them where I am. And then the last step was that H2, what I'm actually looking for, was equal to that A2 because they are alternate angles. And again, H parallel to AF. You must never ever write the word alternate angles, co-interior angles, corresponding angles without knowing where's the parallel lines. Because you're not going to get that mark. This would have been a little bit more. That could have been 2 marks and 2 marks, but this would have been a little bit more. So it would have been 1 for the whole thing, 1 for the whole thing, and then maybe 1 or maybe 2 for the last result. Because all of this is grade 8 to 9. Some of the angles of a triangle, alternate angles. So they wouldn't give you most probably 2 marks for each. So this would have been maybe 3, I think. All right. So the next 2 questions for the next time you've taught geometry.